first scream came from the children's room. It was sharp, sudden, wrong. Joon-seo was already moving before he fully woke, instinct kicking in faster than thought. The hallway lights flickered on as he stepped out, jaw tightening when he heard the second sound. Not a scream, but crying. Not one voice. 3. He reached the door and pushed it open without knocking. The twins were sitting up in bed, faces streaked with tears, small bodies trembling. And on the floor, just beside them, Claire. She wasn't facing him. She was crouched low, arms wrapped around herself like she was trying to hold something together that kept slipping apart. Her shoulders shook, her breathing uneven, like she couldn't catch it. For a moment, Joon-seo just stood there. He had seen crisis, built an empire from collapse, buried family, faced boardrooms that wanted him destroyed. But this was something else. Claire. His voice came out quieter than expected. She didn't respond. "Miss Claire is crying," Minji whispered, her voice breaking as she reached for Claire's sleeve. "She won't stop." Joon-seo stepped forward slowly, eyes scanning the room like he was trying to understand something invisible. "What happened?" he asked, though the question felt useless. Claire shook her head, still not turning. "I'm fine," she said. The lie was immediate, clear. Joon-seo's expression hardened slightly, not in anger but confusion. People lied to him all the time, but not here, not like this. The twins climbed out of bed and wrapped themselves around Claire, one on each side. Minho pressed his face into her shoulder while Minji clung to her arm like she was afraid she might disappear. "Don't cry," Minho murmured. "We're here." That did something he couldn't name. Claire let out a shaky breath, her hands finally moving to hold them, but instead of calming her, it broke whatever control she had left. Her tears came harder. Joon-seo looked away briefly, jaw tightening. He didn't know where to stand, what to say, or how to fix something that had no clear problem. "Did someone hurt you?" he asked finally, sharper than intended. Claire shook her head immediately. "No." "Then what is it?" Silence. "I said I'm fine," she repeated, quieter but firm. Joon-seo exhaled, running a hand through his hair. Frustration crept in, not because she was crying, but because she wouldn't say why. He should have walked away, but he didn't. Instead, he stepped further in and lowered himself closer to their level. The twins noticed immediately. Minji reached for him, fingers wrapping around his sleeve. "Uncle," she whispered. Joon-seo hesitated, then placed a hand on her head. The motion felt unfamiliar, but he didn't pull away. His gaze shifted back to Claire. She still hadn't looked at him. That unsettled him. "Claire," he said quietly, "look at me." She didn't. "I'm sorry for waking them," she said instead, slipping back into professionalism. "It won't happen again." Something in Joon-seo tightened. "You think this is about the noise?" he said. Claire's hands stilled. Finally, she looked at him. Her eyes were red, tired, guarded, and for the first time since she started working in his house, she didn't look composed. She looked human. Joon-seo held her gaze. "You don't need to apologize for that," he said. Claire swallowed, caught off guard. Her voice cracked. She stopped, tried again. "I didn't mean to." "Claire." He said her name more firmly, cutting her off. She went silent. The twins shifted between them, still gripping both adults like they were the only stable things in the room. "Tell me what happened," Joon-seo said. No command now. Claire stared at him, deciding whether to speak or stay silent. Her lips parted, then closed. "I can't," she whispered. And just like that, distance returned. Joon-seo leaned back slightly, expression tightening. Not angry, not cold, just restrained. "Fine," he said. But he didn't stand. He didn't leave. Instead, he sat on the edge of the bed beside the twins. The children immediately moved closer, still holding Claire. Silence settled. Not empty, but full. Joon-seo stared ahead, mind running through possibilities, none clear. He didn't understand why this felt important, why leaving felt wrong. Beside him, Claire tried to steady her breathing, still uneven. He could hear it. After a pause, he spoke again, quieter. "How long?" Claire blinked. "How long have you been like this?" The question landed differently, not sharp, not demanding, but direct. Claire's composure faltered. Her fingers tightened around Min-ho's sleeve. She opened her mouth, then hesitated. And in that hesitation, something shifted. The night wasn't over. Claire looked away first. Not because she didn't want to answer, but because answering meant unraveling something she had spent months holding together. Her throat tightened. Her fingers trembled where they rested on Min-ho's shoulder. "I don't know what you want me to say," she admitted quietly. Joon-seo didn't respond immediately. He watched her carefully. "You don't know," he repeated, not a question but a test. Claire let out a soft, humorless breath. "I wouldn't even know where to start." That was honest. Too honest. The twins shifted between them, sensing the tension. Min-ji leaned against Claire's arm. "Don't be sad, Miss Claire." Claire's expression softened. She stroked the girl's hair. "I'm okay," she whispered, but her voice betrayed her. Joon-seo noticed. "Everything now." "You said that already," he said quietly. "That you're fine." She didn't respond. "Do you always say that when you're not?" Claire swallowed hard, eyes dropping. "Yes," she said finally. No hesitation, just truth. The air shifted. Joon-seo leaned back slightly, absorbing it. "So tonight is different?" he asked. "Yes." "What changed?" She closed her eyes briefly. "My dad," she said finally, barely above a whisper. Joon-seo's gaze sharpened. "What about him?" "He's not doing well," she said. "The hospital called tonight. If I can't send more money, they won't continue his treatment the same way." The words settled heavily. "And you can't?" he asked. "I've been sending everything I can," she said. "Every extra hour, every bonus. I thought it was enough." Her voice hardened slightly. "It's never enough." Silence pressed in. "And your family?" he asked. Claire gave a bitter, quiet laugh. "They think I'm holding back," she said, "like I'm choosing this life over them." She looked at him. "They just see distance." "And what is this?" he asked. "Survival." The word landed. The twins grew drowsy, Min-ho's head dropping against her shoulder. Claire adjusted instinctively. Even now, she was still caring for them. "You've been dealing with this alone?" he asked. "Yes." "Why?" "Because that's what I'm here for," she said. "That doesn't answer the question." "It does," she replied quietly. He didn't like the answer, not because it was wrong, but because it made sense. "You work here," he said. "That doesn't mean you have to feel," she cut in softly. The word lingered. "I know my role," she said. "I take care of the house, the kids, everything so you don't have to think about it." Her voice stayed steady. "That's the job." "And you?" he asked. "I'm not part of that equation." Something in him shifted. "Who told you that?" She didn't answer. The silence did. Joon-seo exhaled, restless now. "I didn't hire you to disappear," he said. "No," she said softly. "But you didn't hire me to be seen either." That hit harder than anything, because it was true. For a moment, neither spoke. The twins finally settled into sleep. The storm quieted. Joon-seo looked at them, then at her. She looked exhausted, deeply. "You should have said something," he said. "It wouldn't have changed anything." "You don't know that." "I do," she said gently. And somehow that certainty made it worse. Silence stretched again. Then Joon-seo spoke. When my sister died, Claire looked up immediately. I didn't tell anyone how bad it was, he continued. Not the company. Not anyone. His voice stayed steady. I just kept working. Because if I stopped, everything would fall apart. Claire's expression softened. I know that feeling, she said quietly. I thought I was handling it, he said, but I was just avoiding it. He glanced at the twins. And they paid for it. They don't think that, she said softly. They don't know enough to, he replied. The silence returned, but changed, less distant, more shared. You don't have to carry everything alone, he said. Claire held his gaze for a long moment. Then, you don't even know how to help, she said gently. Then tell me. What? How to help? No hesitation, just intention. I don't know if you can, she admitted. Let me decide that. The room went quiet again, but this time it felt fragile, like something new had just formed, and neither of them wanted to break it. Claire didn't answer him immediately, because his words, let me decide that, weren't something she was used to hearing. Not from employers, not from people in power, not from anyone, really. She searched his face like she was trying to figure out if this was real, or another moment that would disappear in the morning. What if I don't know what I need? She asked quietly. Then we figure it out. Simple, direct, uncomplicated in a way that made it hard to reject. Claire let out a slow breath, her shoulders lowering slightly for the first time that night. I need, she started, then stopped. Her voice faltered, not from pain, but unfamiliarity. Saying it out loud felt strange, dangerous. I need things to stop feeling like I'm doing this alone, she said finally. Okay. No overpromising, no reassurance, just acceptance. And somehow that felt more solid than anything else. You don't even know what that means yet, she said. You're right, he admitted. But I know what it doesn't mean. She raised a brow. What doesn't it mean? It doesn't mean you sit on the floor at 2 a.m. breaking down while I sleep upstairs and know nothing about it. That landed, deep. Claire's chest tightened, not from pressure, but something unfamiliar. You wouldn't have noticed, she said softly. That's not something I'm proud of, he replied. The honesty made it impossible to argue. For a moment they just looked at each other. No walls, no roles. Then Minji stirred, her small hand tightening around Claire's sleeve. Don't go, she murmured. I'm not going anywhere, Claire whispered. Joon-seo watched closely. Something shifted in him. They trust you, he said. They love you, he corrected quietly. Claire hesitated. I just take care of them, she said. You do more than that, he said. You make this place feel like a home. The words carried weight. Claire blinked, caught off guard. You built everything around structure, she said. Schedules, order, control. Yes, but homes aren't built like that. I'm starting to realize that. Silence followed. There's something else, Claire said. Go on. My family thinks I've changed, she admitted. They think I've become distant, cold. And have you? I don't know, she said honestly. I think I just learned how to survive without expecting anyone to show up. That hit something in him. You're not wrong for that, he said, but you shouldn't have to stay that way. And what if it's too late? She asked. Then we start small. Small? Yes. He glanced at the twins. Like this. They were both asleep now, leaning into them without hesitation. And what does small look like? She asked. I come home earlier, he said. I stop pretending this house runs itself, and I acknowledge the person holding it together. Her breath caught slightly. And your family? I don't know if that's fixable. Maybe not all at once, he said, but ignoring it won't fix it either. I can't promise I'll get everything right, he added. I'm not asking for perfect. Good, because I don't do perfect. That earned the smallest hint of a smile. The tension eased. Not completely, but enough. Hours passed without notice. Their conversation shifted from heavy confessions to quieter exchanges, small details neither had shared before. By morning, something had changed. Not completely, but undeniably. They weren't strangers anymore. The next morning felt different. Joon-seo sat at the breakfast table. That alone was unusual. The twins noticed immediately. "You're here," Min-ho said. "I live here," he replied dryly. "But you're never here," Min-ji said. Claire paused in the doorway. For the first time, she didn't feel invisible. Joon-seo looked up. Their eyes met. "Good morning, Claire." Simple, intentional. "Good morning." A pause. "Thank you. For last night," he said. "You stayed," she replied. "I will," he said simply. Then his phone rang. The shift was immediate. His expression changed. Calm disappeared. Jaw tightened. Claire noticed. "Everything okay?" she asked. He didn't answer. He answered the call instead. "What do you want?" Cold. A pause. "You should have stayed gone." His eyes flicked to Claire, just for a second. But it was enough. Something on the other end of the call was connected to her. He ended the call slowly. Claire stepped closer. "Who was that?" No answer. That silence said everything. The fragile piece from the night before shifted, not broken, but tested. And one thing became clear. The hardest part of their story hadn't even begun yet. The silence after the call didn't feel the same as before. Last night it had been fragile, careful, almost gentle. Now it was tense, tight, unpredictable. Claire didn't move closer again. She stayed where she was, watching him with a quiet alertness that hadn't been there before. "You're not going to tell me?" she asked. Her voice wasn't confrontational, but it wasn't soft either. Joon-seo exhaled slowly, his grip on the phone tightening slightly. "It's nothing you need to worry about," he said. Claire let out a small breath, almost a laugh, but without humor. "That's not true," she replied. Joon-seo's gaze snapped to her. "It doesn't concern you." Claire held his stare. "That's the second time you've said something that isn't true." A pause, sharp. Joon-seo's jaw tightened. "You don't know what you're talking about." "Then explain it," she said. The shift came immediately. Last night she would have hesitated. Now she didn't. "You looked at me," Claire continued, right after he said something. Joon-seo didn't respond. "That wasn't random," she added quietly. The twins watched from the table, sensing the change in energy. Claire softened slightly. "Can we not do this in front of them?" she said gently. That broke the tension. Enough. Joon-seo glanced at the children, then back at her. "Finish your breakfast," he said calmly. "We'll talk later." "But," Min-ji started. "Later," he repeated. The twins exchanged a look but stayed quiet. Claire nodded once and stepped aside as he moved from the table. 10 minutes, he said as he passed. She didn't respond, but she followed. They stood in the study. The door clicked shut, and the distance returned. Not the same as before, but enough. Joon-seo stayed by the window, rigid, controlled. Claire leaned against the desk, arms crossed, not defensive, but steadying herself. "You said we would figure things out," she started. "I did. So start now." He exhaled slowly. "That call was from someone I used to know." "That's not an answer. It's the only one I'm giving right now." Claire shook her head. "That's you doing what you always do." "And what is that?" "Shutting people out when things get uncomfortable." The words landed clean. Joon-seo's expression tightened. You don't understand the situation. Then help me understand it, she said. He hesitated, and that hesitation said enough. Is it about me? She asked. No answer. Her stomach tightened. Okay, so it is. It's complicated, he said. It always is. Silence stretched. What did he say? She asked. He mentioned your name. Claire froze. How would he even know me? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Her thoughts raced. Did he say anything else? Joon-seo hesitated again. What did he say? She pressed. He said... He paused. He said I should ask you why you really came here. The room went still. That doesn't make sense, she said. That's what I said. Her heartbeat quickened, not from fear, but something deeper. You think I'm hiding something? She asked. I think someone believes you are. That's not the same thing. No, he agreed. It's not. Silence deepened. Who is he? She asked. That's not important right now. It is if he knows my name. He knows more than that. Her chest tightened. What does that mean? This isn't random. The words settled heavily. I didn't come here for anything except work, she said. I know what you told me. Do you believe me? She asked. Joon-seo held her gaze, long, carefully. I want to, he said. But I've learned not to ignore things like this. That's fair, she said. You're not going to argue? He asked. No, she replied. I understand it. I've been on the other side of that doubt, she added quietly. And it doesn't feel good. Silence again, but softer. Claire pushed off the desk, stepping closer. So here's what we're going to do. He raised a brow. Yes. No hesitation. You tell me who he is, she said, and I'll tell you everything you want to know about me. And if it doesn't match, then we deal with it. Simple, direct. Joon-seo exhaled slowly, then nodded. His name is Kang Min-jae. Claire's expression didn't change immediately, but something in her eyes did. Recognition. Faint but real. And Joon-seo saw it, and everything shifted. If you're still here, everything just changed. Comment your country, like and subscribe. Part 2 is coming.